All throughout this journey, you have been practicing for your test. You have answered questions at the end of each lesson. There will be similar questions on your test. The GED math test is 115 minutes long and has 2 parts. Part 1, the first 5 test questions, a calculator is not allowed. Part 2, the remaining 41 test questions, a calculator is allowed. Students must submit their answers to the first 5 questions before moving on to the rest of the test. For Part 2, you can bring a TI-30XS Multiview scientific calculator or use the calculator on your computer screen, also known as the on-screen calculator. You can also use a formula sheet during the test. These parts are not timed separately. Here are some tips to keep in mind for the day of the exam. Use shortcuts, calculators when allowed, and the formula sheets. Eliminating means getting rid of something. Eliminate answers on your test by first crossing off the answers that are obviously wrong. Estimating is a kind of guessing using your math skills. Here is an example. You have a question for which you think the answer is between 20 and 25. That is your estimate. The answer choices are 0.2, 23, -23, and 735. Only one of the choices is between 20 and 25, so you can choose that one. If you are sure that your estimation is correct, you can move on to the next question. If you are not quite sure about an answer, don't forget about back solving, which we covered earlier in a test tip. You can use back solving with most multiple choice questions to test your choice. Back solving is good for equations because sometimes it's quicker to plug in a few answers and test them than it is to solve a problem from the beginning. If you already rejected some answers by eliminating or estimating, you may only need to test 1 or 2 answers anyway. Guessing is what you may have to do when you are running out of time and there are a few questions still unanswered. If you don't know how to answer a question, take a guess. Wrong answers do not count against you, and your guess might be right. However, save your guessing until the end. Pay attention to the time. Solving the easy problems first and then returning to the harder ones will help you use your testing time well. First, answer the questions that seem easy to you. That way, you will be able to answer more questions than if you spend a lot of time focused on just a few harder questions. Return later to solve the harder questions and pay attention to the amount of time you have left. Do not spend all your time on the first couple of questions. You will feel rushed at the end if you have a lot of questions left to answer. Watch the time. If you are running out of time, you should guess the answer for every remaining question. Never leave a question unanswered. Remember these tips when studying for your GED math exam, and you'll do great. Happy studying!